Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
Thank you for joining me. My name's Chris Foust. This is the Simuologist, and here we talk about a lot of crazy things, paranormal, mysterious circumstances, and also things that are in the news that might be causing some alarm to kind of what we're experiencing right now. So I wanted to bring up a few things that caught my attention. One being that there is this mysterious thing where the FAA cameras for pilots is now, they're turned off on the East Coast. And I'm going to show you what I mean here. I found this article, and in this article, you can see where this FAA WeatherCams system is shut down along the East Coast. Well, this goes back to July 16th, and I remember seeing this article, and I was a little curious about it because I'm a pilot and I fly, and I don't use the weather cams at all, but it did cause some kind of suspicion as to why maybe they are shut down. Maybe it's just like a glitch, a power failure, something to that effect. And I started to research it a little bit further. Well, now as of today, we're looking at July 19th. So it's been just a few days since this report came out. But it pretty much says here, the FAA has shut down 90% of their east-facing cameras all across America. And why is this? And so I thought about it. I thought, well, that's really odd. Why would that be shut down? What is going on over on the East Coast? Of course, they give this depiction here where you can see Colorado, where I'm at, is just actually fine. There's a lot of weather cameras here, and we're going to take a look at them in just a minute, but everybody's posting a lot of stuff here in order to try to figure this out. Now, why would this be suspicious? Well, I can imagine if maybe one camera goes down. I can imagine maybe if, 2, 3, even, 10 cameras go down. Maybe intermittently because of maintenance, because of power outages. I could assume that there would be clear reasoning to taking down cameras that we can see. Well, let's see what this looks like when we actually go up to the FAA WeatherCams to try to get that information. So now just imagine that you're a pilot and you want to go take a look and see what the weather is going to be like. So let's take a look at this weather map and see what we're really getting into here. Now, this is right now, today, July 19th, and this is on the weathercams.faa.gov. You can take a look at it yourself. Just go up there and just block out everything on this ledger here on the side, this menu. Block out everything except for cameras. And then what you're going to see is that there are no cameras on the East Coast. See, all of these cameras are now offline, or they're missing. I don't know if this is something with the FAA. I don't know if it's something with their technology that they're doing or anything like that, but I can show you one of these cameras and what they look like. Pilots use this to kind of get a clear overview, because here is a clear day view. Okay, this is a visual reference. Okay, they give you the altitude, mean sea level, and showing you then what it looks like currently. And we can click this, and we can see that this is showing us that at 6:55 on 7/19, which is today of 2022, right? We can see Wilkerson Pass, and we can see that the sun's out. There's clouds in the sky. But the question is, if we can see all of this, and that all these cameras that face, and as you can see down here, I'm highlighting something, and it highlights it up in this section. You can see vice versa. They highlight the direction of where they're going. So north, northeast, southwest. So you can just get a good visual reference. This is a very good tool for pilots to use. You can see that there is a storm down by Levita Pass, which is really good. And you could see on a clear day visual reference, and then what it looks like right now. So you could think, well, I probably don't want to go into this. This looks pretty gnarly right now, so I don't want to go into that. That's what pilots use this for, and I think what people are concerned about is, why is it shut down, and why is it 90% of their east-facing cameras, why are they shut down right now? So the question then becomes, is it a glitch? Is it a purposeful takedown? Is it something that is used for other purposes later on? I mean, we are facing some dark times. We're facing some times that they don't feel right. Nothing feels right about what's happening right now. And, we talk a lot about, stories, right? Aliens, technology, ghosts, near-death experiences. We have all these things, but we don't really actually sit down and talk about the seriousness of day-to-day life and what's actually happening right now. And I think that as we kind of progress along, we need to start talking about these things and ramping up the understanding of what's happening. Now, you might be thinking in terms of, well, maybe something's about to happen, and that's fine. You can think that. But also know that there are two sides to the coin. So while you might be thinking that there might be something nefarious to this whole thing, I want you to think that there also might be something that is really just a reasonable, logical explanation. And right now, everybody's heightened in their paranoia. And we don't know what's going to happen in Russia. We don't know what's going to happen in the Ukraine. We need to prepare for certain things. And, with New York recently coming out with the, public service announcement about a nuclear attack and what to do in that situation, it makes you wonder, why would they do that? Why would they entertain the idea unless they thought it was a viable thing that might actually happen? I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that we got to look at all the facts, and we have to look at this in a very serious light, because we can't just we can't take a straight paranoia terminology to it. We can't just throw out that the world's ending, but at the same time, we need to be cautious in case it is. Now, I can tell you this, is that I find it very suspicious. I actually find it very interesting that when we look to what the East is, the East Coast is the possible way that we might receive a nuclear threat, which is really interesting. So if something were to attack us, it would probably attack us on the East Coast, because it just is it's the ports, it's the financial hub with New York City. So I understand that. I understand where a lot of people might be really concerned about that. But let's just think about it in these terms. Let's talk about it. We are completely open to understanding that this is what we need to look at. Now, this report came out on July 16th. We are now at July 19th. So we're 3 days into this. And I'm talking about it because it's still not coming up. The cameras aren't there. Now, it doesn't mean that something is going to happen, but it just means that there's a possibility something could happen. There's a possibility that it could be nefarious. And then there's a possibility that it's probably just a malfunction and a glitch. And it's probably the FAA is the government. And the government is not always good at doing what they need to do efficiently and with the right budget. So because of that, we got to think in those terms and say, well, they probably screwed something up. Somebody probably pushed the wrong button, and now all these cameras are disabled. So moving on to the next thing that is really concerning that I was looking at today is the Hoover Dam Explosion. Now, this was an explosion. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's a bomb that went off, but it is an explosion. The concern for the Hoover Dam is actually really interesting, because the Hoover Dam, it sits on the border of Nevada and Arizona, and it supplies power to Nevada, Arizona, and California. So if the Hoover Dam goes out, the power goes out for those people who are connected to that. So what's really interesting is, because of all the concern with especially preppers and people who are watching for things to change, okay, and how things are quickening in a sense that it's not that they're getting worse per se, it's just that they're changing. Okay, and little things are popping up, and it makes you take notice. Now, of course, the financial situation in this country has changed completely. People are feeling that, but the power hasn't changed. See, the power system hasn't changed at all. The power system still stays the same. I have power. You probably have power, but I don't know of anybody who's without power right now in the United States. The only thing that's changed is the financial structure of things. However, we have to watch and prepare and say there's a possibility we could have power outages. And we don't want power outages to happen when there's extreme heats and there's extreme cold temperatures. Okay, that's when people start to suffer and die, and that's a problem. So when I look at this story where, you know, there's an explosion at the Hoover Dam, and it looks like it might have been like a transformer or something that blew up there. Here's the video. So if you guys want to watch it, let's take a look at this really quick.
Well, another news alert. We are keeping track of a fire at Hoover Dam. Social media user Christy Hairston touring the dam and shot this video. Take a look. You can see that thick black smoke billowing from the structure of the dam. So we also have live images there that I believe we can go to, and that's what you're seeing right here. It looks like that fire is now out, but the Boulder Police Department says that they are in the process of gathering working on their investigation of it and the cause of that fire. But at this point, it looks like the fire on that portion of the dam is now put out.
Yeah, that's part of the generating station of the dam there. It's where the water is exiting the dam, so it's downstream on the Colorado River side of it, not up on the Lake Mead side of it there. And so there are two long houses that have big generating stations, turbines underneath, and then the water comes back through this area to dump back into the Colorado River. So I'm not exactly sure what would burn there, but it appeared that it was right on top of that kind of docking area or maybe down below. But we'll continue to get information for you and have more on later editions of Fox 10 News.
Okay, so following this up, I think that there is a clear understanding of what we're looking at. There was an explosion that happened. There was a fire that then preceded it. The fire is now put out. So it's kind of like, hey, everybody, you're fine. You know, go back to, watching Netflix and just relaxing. There's no issue to see here. However, we look at things and we wonder, are some of these things being staged for upcoming events? And that is a possibility. Now, some people can say, well, that's looking into the conspiracy terms of things, and that's okay. It's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to be wrong sometimes, okay? And it's okay to also feel a certain way because you want to just prepare yourself in case something does happen. You don't want to stick your head in the sand. And I understand that. And that's why we want to bring this stuff up, because today, having the Hoover Dam be such a big news point, okay, just a few hours ago, now what we're looking at is the fire's put out. So everybody calm down. However, when we look at all these food processing plants that have caught on fire, that are shutting down production, right? We've looked at the locusts that have that are destroying crops in Russia. We look at water issues that we have. We look at fertilizer issues that we're having. We look at financial issues that we're having. See, all these things start to add up, and then what happens is this domino effect where now all of a sudden it shows itself into your everyday life. And so that will happen one day. All of this stuff is going to eventually creep up and show itself in the grocery stores, at the gas pump. There's so many different, at your job, where you make your money, where you have your source of income, it's going to show up there. So there's going to be things that happen to us that are out of our control. What I'm trying to get at is that when I look at something like this, I see that there is a possibility that was this, are they not telling us everything? Was this something that was terrorist related? Was it something that could have been just a mechanical issue that was just a fire that happened because, there wasn't enough oil put into a generator? You don't know these things. It could have been a spark that came off of anything and started a fire, which led to an explosion, which then led to an even bigger fire, and they still put it out. We're perfectly fine. They shut down that generator, whatever that was, that transformer, whatever that was on fire. Now they're going to have to replace it. But did it shut down the whole system? No. Is it a cause for concern? Yeah, absolutely. Because maybe it's something that we just don't know about yet. Maybe it's something that is a terrorist situation that they don't want to alarm the public. See, the problem is that nobody's going to give you a straight answer. And it's up to us to decipher the clues and put together the pieces of the puzzle in order to try to reveal a straight answer. And then a lot of times when we try too hard, we're looked at as conspiracy theorists, or we're looked at as paranoid or delusional or schizophrenic. You're looked at as a person who kind of thinks too much into it. And that's okay, because if you think too much into it, you might actually find a piece to this puzzle that nobody else is finding, and that's a good thing. And then from there, all you have to do is be prepared, take care of your family, do those kind of things, right? Now, I'm not saying that this incident here with the Hoover Dam is something that is going to be a terrorist threat. I'm just saying that the next thing in order to take out, if they're already working on the food, if they're already working on the financial system, if they're already working on the fuel system, is going to be the power system. Because we run our everyday lives off of technology. What you're seeing right now, this studio setup that you can see around me, it's a big setup. It takes a lot of power. It takes a lot of things to run, to organize, to be at the helm of this ship. But it gets a message out to you, right? So if I don't have this, then I can't get a message out to you. The other thing is that I can't receive messages if the power's out. Now, I am a ham radio operator, so that kind of thing, if I had the system set up and I have all my batteries, I have battery power, I can receive and transmit, then that's a little bit different. I can, that's something that everybody should have and everybody should really look into doing. But aside from that, with no power, you're just not going to have anything. You're not going to be able to recharge your phone. Phone systems could be down, especially towers, grids. They want that stuff to go down to cause chaos. And they could be anybody. It could be terrorist organizations. It could be however far down that rabbit hole you want to go. That's up to you to decide. But what I'm trying to do is just report the simple facts that the Hoover Dam did have that explosion today. It did have a fire. The fire was put out. Everything seems okay. But I just want to let you know that now it seems, it appears as though the next wave of things is now taking out the power. Okay, it's going to start going that way. Now, what have we haven't really talked too much about this, but what I have discussed in inner circles is the possibility of power going out nationwide. How does that look? What does that look like? And how is that such a big thing for us? Because if we don't have power, now if it's something like this, well, they could fix that, right? They could repair that quickly and easily. It's just one down system, right? It's not really causing a problem to the entire network, right? But what if there was an EMP attack? What if something happened to where the entire East Coast lost power, the entire West Coast lost power? Maybe the entire United States and parts of Canada and Mexico lost power. What would that look like for all of us? And then what if that power was shut down in a way that destroyed the grid? Okay, and the grid is the transformers, the highline wires, okay, that transfer power from the station to your house. So all of that stuff is it's affected in a way to where it needs to be replaced. How soon could they replace that power? That's a good question to ask, and I really want to know the answer to that. So if anybody knows that in an EMP attack, what would be the time frame if America lost power and transformers and grid systems were destroyed? What would be the time frame to get us back up and running? Now, I've heard before that it's 3 to 5 years. That's what I've heard, but that's just what I don't know that to be factual. So if you work in the electric, or power industry, please let me know in the comments or just send me a message. You can always send me an email, research@simuology.com, and just let me know. Let me know your thoughts on if you think this is a possibility to reset or re-enable the power grid system within a quick enough time in order to not destroy society. Okay? Is it possible to rebound from something like that, an EMP attack or something to that effect? And then the other thing is too, if you're a pilot out there, and you're more of a pilot than I am, you know, you're a corporate pilot, you're a professional pilot, whatever it is, commercial pilot, you use the camera system on the FAA WeatherCams. You use that a lot. And if you think, hey, Chris, the weather cameras go down all the time, don't even worry about it. You know, it's just probably a glitch in their website. It's probably a glitch in their system. It's the government, right? They don't get everything right. Trust me. So if that's the case, let me know. I'd like to hear from you because I'm open to hearing all of the comments that you have. I don't go against anybody's comments. I think everybody has the right to their opinion. And I think that if you think that this is just all of this stuff, this thing that I call a quickening of events, okay, that is happening, if you think that that is something that is nefarious, please post it, post your opinion. I'm not going to put you down for your opinion. If you think that it's non-nefarious, if you think that it's just something that is just part of reality, right? These things happen. Then go ahead and post your comment. I want to hear from you, and I'll gladly reply to you and let you know as well too that your comment is much appreciated on this channel. So thank you so much for watching, and let me know down in the comments what else you would like us to talk about. We do have some great things, by the way, that I want to tell you about coming up. I do have some interviews with two women, one who traveled through time in a portal, in like a wormhole, and she ended up in a car accident in the past. It is the weirdest thing. She ended up in a car accident in the past through a portal. She has pictures to prove it, and that interview is coming up this week. Then also, I have another one who saw what she believes is an alien in her backyard, and it is amazing, the story that she has to tell. So just stick around for that. Keep watching the channel, like and subscribe, so that way you'll get notified when those videos come out and those interviews and everything else. And I will see you in the next video.